I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is episode number 511. Stay tuned. Welcome to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. If you're a woman and you're smart and you're successful and you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you are ready to make this the last time you ever have to go on a diet again, then this podcast is for you. Stay tuned. Well, hello, all my dear friends all over the world. I'm in the Midwest where it's cold and snowy, and getting out to take a walk is a lot more challenging, but it's also really beautiful. And I have figured out what to wear and how to get out there, get some fresh air, move my body a little bit, and then come on back in. That's kind of always the nature of life in general, is how best to take care of yourself when you care so much about yourself and making sure that you get what you need. For instance, just like with the big snow like that, I still need to get out and move because I start feeling this intensity in my body that almost is asking me to move it along. So I've been living in this body long enough to know how to answer it and then to figure out how I can do it. Which kind of brings me to the topic of what I want to talk about taking care of our bodies and caring enough about ourselves that we can take care of our bodies and how to take care of our bodies. And one of the things that I talk a lot about is the difference between fuel eating and joy eating. And I talk about the 4 different types of eating, which is fuel eating, which is basically eating food that is nutritious for your body, so we call it fuel. And then there's joy eating, which is basically any non-nutritious food that you eat, but you enjoy the taste, but it doesn't do anything nutritiously for your body. And then there's fog eating, which means that you're eating when you're not hungry. And then there's storm eating, which means you're eating a lot of food when you're not hungry, or what we call binge eating. And those are the 4 types of eating. And the type of eating that I talk about the most that will give you your best results if you're trying to lose weight, if you're even trying to get healthier, is to choose more nutritious foods or fuel foods. And this shouldn't be a drudgery or a chore. But when we've been trying to lose weight for 20 to 30 to 40 years, for me it was 30 years, it did feel like a chore. Oh, I have to eat this because I have to lose weight. And of course, the more that I thought like that, the less I wanted to eat like that. And non-nutritious food looked better and better to me when I thought what a chore it was. Like, oh, poor me, I have to eat something healthy because I have to lose weight. Or I have to eat something nutritious because I have to lose weight. As opposed to the way that I really think now is that I want to eat nutritious food because I want to live a long, healthy life, more than I want to be thin. Now, the older I get, the more I want to live longer and be healthy. When I was younger, even in my 50s, I wanted to be thin. And I'm not sure where you are, but most of the people that I work with all want to be thin, under the guise of saying, I want to be healthy. But I think the older you get, healthy becomes more and more motivating. But what I want to talk about right now is the difference between fuel eating and joy eating. And number one, you can combine the two, but also you have to be truthful and honest with yourself about what you're putting in your mouth. So I'm working with a group right now in the Thinner Peace process. And that's really what we're trying to discover, is to find out, what do I consider nutritious for my body? And what I find from the group members that I'm counseling is that some people know exactly, and some people act like they don't know at all. Sometimes what some people want is they want something fast more than they want something nutritious and fuel like. And I think that what we want is we really want both. If we want it to be fast, but we always want it to be nutritious. Most of the time to get thin, or because it'll get us more of what we want. It'll get us through our day better. It will make us in a better mood. All the things that nutritious food really do for us that joy eating does not do for us. So a joy food is a non-nutritious food that you enjoy. Now, if you eat joy foods all day long and you think you're enjoying yourself all day long, if you check in physiologically with your body, it's probably not going to feel good. And you're probably going to notice it if you start checking in. And you don't make it a big deal that you check in. You just become more aware of what fuel feels like in your body and what joy feels like in your body. And you want to be eating more fuel and less joy. But of course, you want to include joy eating in your patterns, in the way that you decide to eat. You don't want foods that are off limits. You want to believe that you could eat whatever you want. But just because you can eat whatever you want doesn't mean you're going to be eating bonbons all day long. Which brings me to the topic then about nighttime. Because if fuel eating is your goal, that you want to be eating more fuel, nutritious foods most of the day, what happens at night? Since nighttime eating seems to be a thing where people are eating when they're not hungry at night for a host of different reasons. And the reason that I want to talk about today is the idea of a lot of people will say in the evenings that they're bored. Now, if you're eating and you know you're not hungry, then identifying the emotion that's driving you to eat is important. Boredom may be one of those emotions that happens many, many times to many people in the evenings. Now, what I want to tell you right up front is that boredom is not a food group. So it's not something you should be eating when you're feeling it. And yet many of you are eating foods for all kinds of reasons. And maybe it's fuel and maybe it's joy. But either way, you're not hungry. You're filling an emotional hole. And that emotion is called boredom. And boredom is not a food group, it's an emotion. Now, here's the thing about emotions or feelings. If you know you're feeling it, the most important thing to do is to acknowledge what you're feeling. So if you notice that you're feeling bored, all you have to do is say, I'm feeling bored right now, just to yourself. And then I want you to touch base with where that feeling could be. Is it in your gut? Is it in your chest? Is it in your legs? Is it in your arms? Is it in your head? Is it a tingling? What does it feel like when you're bored? For many people, boredom feels like you're going to jump out of your skin. Or boredom feels like you're just needing something to do. And whatever is in front of you isn't what you want to be doing. You just have this feeling that needs to be filled. And so a lot of people will say, I eat when I'm bored. But boredom is not a food group. It's a feeling, which means that you need to feel it and not fill it. Also, boredom is an important emotion because it could lead to something that would be more exciting and less boring. But the only way you're ever going to get to a more exciting place is to notice that you're feeling bored and not eat. Because if you eat to fill the feeling, then you can't let the feeling motivate you to do something that would actually help. How to become less bored is by feeling bored. Just think, I wonder what you would do if you just felt bored. The more bored you feel, the more apt you are to do something or to change something. But you'll never do it if you're eating something, because then you are doing something. Then your brain says, oh, good. we found something to do. Boredom is not a food group. You don't fill it with food. You feel it in order to use it to help you move forward in your life. Now, if you're busy during the day, you won't feel that boredom. No matter what it is you're doing, if you like it or not, you won't feel it enough to do anything about it because it's being taken up with other things. But when you come home at the end of the day and the things are done, then the feelings come up. And if one of those feelings for you is boredom, be aware. You don't have to do anything about it in the beginning. Just notice that you're bored. Call it what it is. I'm bored. I could eat all the food in the world, and it's not going to make me feel less bored. It will make me feel like I'm doing something, but it won't make me feel less bored, but it will stop me from doing something different. I will stay in bored. Bored is not a food group. You can't eat it. You can only fill it. I want you to think about that for today. I want you to think about, what are your nights like? If you're eating at night and you're not hungry, do you know what the emotion is? A lot of people don't know, and that's okay too, but they do know if they're hungry or not. So we always start with identifying, am I hungry or not? If you're not hungry and you're feeling something else, we know it's an emotion. We call it an emotional hole. And an emotional hole, you can fill it with food or you can feel it. Sometimes when it's not as strong, it's easier to feel. Sometimes when it's too strong, it's harder to feel. And the feel and the fill is very, very important. So what I want you to take away from today is this. Boredom is not a food group. If you're not hungry, all the food in the world will not make you feel less bored. If you're bored, then you want to feel it and you want to use it to propel you forward in your life. What does that look like and what might it be? I would love to know what your answer might be over time. So just for this week, starting tonight, notice and become aware. That's all I'm asking. And that's it. The simplicity of where you are and realizing that it's not that hard is all I want you to do. If you're hungry, I want you to eat. When you're full, I want you to stop. If you're not hungry and you're eating, what are you feeling? And we're going to start with the boredom. Boredom is not a food group. It's a very popular emotion in the evenings, so many of you might identify it. Maybe you need something else to do. What might that be? Are your days fulfilling enough? If they're not, they're probably going to pop up at night. They're not going to pop up during the day. So it's just becoming aware of, this is what I feel, and that's it. And I'm not going to fill it. I'm going to feel it. And of course, I would never end this podcast without saying to you, of course, no matter where you go and no matter what you do, please, please, please be very, very kind to yourself. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. If you're loving my podcast and you would like some more information to be able to follow along with, then please go to drdebbutler.com/change, and you can get a free copy of my companion book that goes with this podcast that I refer to in many different episodes. That is drdebbutler.com/change, CHANGE.